America, baby, America. What up, what up, what up? Hey, all right, all right. Players and playettes, big pimps out there. Holla. Yes, we are in glorious times. We've got a monster cock gap in the markets. Well, I wouldn't say monster, right? More like just a nice size, right? So we got about 1% gap in the Qs. Flat open in the IWM, which is really running just on the banks right now. And then you've got a 0.4 on the SPY, right? But the SPY is for your grandparents. We don't give a shit about the SPY, right? The IWM right now is just mostly about banks and stuff. So, as always, we follow the granddaddy of all indexes, the QQQs. But we do got to watch this level today on the IWM. I think this is going to be really important. It's a big support spot. If we lose it or bounce from it, we've got to have a little bit of marination here. But you can see this 171-ish zone of love is going to be a big spot. The banks were nasty yesterday. They all rolled over. And, we've got some stuff with SQ and stuff today and coin. And there's all sorts of fun and games happening today. So this is going to be a key level to watch. I'd set an alert here, and man, if we start to flush back under this thing, then it's, lights out, at least on the small cap index. And really the IWM is more mid cap, small caps, I should say. But we'll see how this reacts. Supports have been getting defended in the market for a little bit. And you can see the structure, the NASDAQ, even though yesterday was a nasty, I don't even want to think about yesterday because I fucked up the whole day. But boy, I got played like a rookie yesterday. Man, my whole plan was to fade the spike, and then I was like, "Oh man, this is looking good." You know what? Sometimes trading is just about putting your balls on the kitchen table while speed chopping carrots, and sometimes you chop it wrong. And that's what happened yesterday. But even with this kind of big drop into it, we haven't really changed the structure that much. I will say this tends to look like a reversal candle on the daily. So we do got to be a little bit, we got to be a little bit careful. Like we've got still a lot of support underneath. We'll see what's going on. I think the play has been kind of like long tech, short banks, and then you've got to kind of reverse it around a little bit. So when the banks have been running, tech has been weak. And then when the banks have been fading, tech has been strong. So we've had a little bit of there's a little bit of a dichotomy or fugazi going, and we got to play around with that. Now, the overall structure of the text looks fine. I think we got some news plays too that we can play today, as you've seen. We've got some Kathy Johnson stocks. Kathy Johnson, she's hot though. For an old lady, I will say she is pretty hot, but she's having a bad day. SQ got a hit piece out by the Hindenburg. Man, what a name, right? Like, if you're going to write hit pieces, like having a name like Hindenburg, that's just fantastic. That's good, solid marketing right there. So the hit piece is actually pretty funny. They said pretty much half their accounts are fake. The whole company is a fugazi so that the insiders can cash out and, so on and so forth. It'll probably bounce a little bit at the open. They'll probably also SQ will defend this, right? Like that. People always defend a hit piece, especially when it's from a blogger. They're really, hey man, this guy's a blogger. But the bloggers are the ones that take down the companies. You got to always remember that. So I think at first bounce, we'll see kind of how this thing reacts. Right now you're just kind of coming off a little bit of support here. I think it needs a little bit more. And then we'll see what kind of, if it does some kind of fizzle out there, a quick pullback buy or an ORB at the open. in this type of environment, SQ is considered basically a bank too. Like if you really think about it, even though it trades like a tech and it's valued as a tech company, right? I mean, theoretically, SQ and PayPal are just big, giant, right? Nasty banks with terrible interfaces. We'll see what's going up on this thing. Woo. For America, we got to short this thing. Let it pop up a little bit. Quick pullback by our ORB at the open. Coin. Fuck this stock. We've been trying to short this thing for like 2 days. I never hold overnight, so it's not like I would have really captured this. Well, we were shorting the shit out of this thing yesterday, and I'm at the gym, and then all of a sudden, I get like the alert, like this thing is, they get a Wells notice, and Wells notice from the SEC. That's like the worst letter you can get. You can get all sorts of letters from the SEC, but the Wells letter is like the worst one you can get. And right, Levi, she's pretty hot. The glasses do it for me. Now this thing is tanking. Levi had puts on this thing all day yesterday in the chat room. We don't even want to look and see what those would have been up today. Let's add both of these, SQ, coin, but this has got a lot of support underneath. So it's a little bit tricky. Like you've got, I think you're going to have to dance around a lot of levels, before like you can come into this, where like I think SQ is a little bit, it's just much cleaner, right? In terms of where the locations are. Let this thing bounce up a little bit, and then we'll see if this thing fizzles off. On the other side of things, like, man, I think we try to, if we spike up a little bit, I think at some point we still got to try to do a little bit of a fade for, for old times, right? For the ladies. All right, let's take a look at the earnings plays, the gappers, and we'll see like what's going on. Yeah. So look, when you have earnings plays, gappers, like anything PR plays, like the daily chart's got to be good, right? So like, see how like this thing's just gapping up into resistance. That's not the type of thing that you want to be playing. Steel case. Hey, this is a good, solid Michigan company over here. Q4 results, top estimates, issued guidance. Hey, this is actually a really good setup. Like, see, you get a big base here. The issue on this one is going to be like liquidity, right? It's only doing about 58,000 shares. Pass. For America. Oh, man. All right, INZI. See, this is a hot little setup too, but no liquidity, right? Reginald, no liquidity. Yeah, a lot of these biotechs are popping up, huh? You see, like the ATRs on this is like so small. What I mean by ATR is average true range, right? So like, see, I like how these are just like baby candles. Like you can't really day trade something like that. Oh, Brahmer, it just means that the government's coming after you. They're letting, a Wells letter is just like them saying like, hey, we're on to you, and we're coming for blood. Yeah, FRC gap up, but look at the fade on this, man. This is probably, I keep an alert at 12. Like E-Trade had borrows on it yesterday. If it loses that, so this is like a quick, if it goes green to red, it's going to take out that 12. And then at that point, like it's lights out. This you're talking about a 0 at that point. Now you got to be careful with these, like, right? Like, sometimes like they get halted. This one gets halted all the time, and then you're just stuck. So I prefer, like when this one is fading, I'd rather fade PAC-W or even Wall. Wall's a little bit more of a tricky trader. I'm a chaser by nature, so like this fucking stock gets me every time because you got to like hit this thing on. You got to hit it on pops. You know, like if you're like trying to do breakdowns on it, you get wicks and all this kind of stuff on it. You got to be a little bit looser on your stops and trade it a little bit smaller, and it's fine. But like if you're trying to like slam it on the breakdowns because it's got such a big spread on it, it will like wick you out a little bit. So just gotta be mindful. But I think we play these for the red roll. This one too. Like you can see with these nasty fades on it. Like we gotta play this for the red roll, right? So if this thing goes green to red and then you take out this, that should put us in play to take out the daily lows. Whoa, that's a boner patrol. Hot damn. Goddamn right. That thing looks nice. Woo. That thing is nice, right? This is like if you're sitting in your pickup truck with your Oakleys on and it was a hot day and you saw that beautiful Monster Energy drink out there. That's what this looks like, right? Whew. I like it. I like it. Add it. Add all those. So we go right pack W, then DPST. Yeah. Man, that's nasty. Would you kiss Janet Yellen on the list for $1 million? I would eat Janet Yellen's butthole for $1 million. Like, come on. What kind of question is that? Probably not even for $1 million, even like probably 10,000. I got low standards, baby. Hey man, it was lonely in there, man. The big war. It was lonely in there. Don't judge me. Hey. Baba has a gap up. Anybody see news on this? Hey, these China stocks, they gap up all the time, but they do not. Buy to rise after positive China macro. I don't know. Look, this thing is like, it's rebounded a little bit. But, man, when was the last time Baba ever worked on a gap up? Never. Never. Yo, I still think the CVNA is a fader. This was like it felt like a liquidity pump yesterday. Like this thing, they're gonna do like a BBBY type of dilution. They have almost no choice. Like, see when these guys pumped and then they diluted the float in such a manner. Like it was basically, they said like, right, it's in the billions. The CVNA is going to do that. Like nobody's going to change their loan agreements. Yeah, expect net loss, man. This thing's probably a zero. Yeah, I think we start any pop in this. Like, let's watch this thing. If it gets back into the nines, we look to fade this thing. Hey, these social media companies still are holding up okay, but Snapchat's really hard to trade. I think Meta looks like if we need some longs, right? Meta still got a spot there. Like Roblox still held support. And SC held up really well too. So we need some longs. Like we go with those. And you know, even Tesla held really support. Like it's over the MAs. Like I think all of those. And NVIDIA looks, I mean, NVIDIA is a good day trader right now, Sean. You just can't hold it overnight because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row. and it's been getting like just like a giant like analyst circle jerk lately of upgrades. So you got to be a little bit careful on this. It's a great day trader. Like I day trade this every day. But I think, yeah, both of these, like AMD, NVIDIA, they're great day traders right now, and they should be on the top of your list. You just can't hold them overnight because they're so extended, right? Like you're talking like it's up 20 points in a few days. And this thing is 50. You know, these are day traders. I wouldn't try to, you wouldn't need a real explosion to try to like hold it for a short. Like you would really need a nice parabolic explosion. All right, so guys, rewind. Banks, sure, right? SQ coin as PR plays, we'll play back and forth. We want to keep some tech stocks for longs, right? So you got Tesla, AMD, NVIDIA, TTD has a nice level here, right? And you got SE. And then we keep it real simple. You want liquidity, and be careful today. You know, the market is gapping up into like a weird spot. Like after this big fade, now you're kind of like gapping up into a weird spot. Like we'll see if it red rolls, but it very well just may grind forward. We've often seen like big dumps on, you know, these Fed days, and then they just rebound and kind of chop around the next day and digest. All right, let's get our 6 windows layouts going. Let's try to have some fun today. You know it, Sean. UEC, huh? Cool. Let's go do this, baby.